Hello and welcome to High Caliber TV, your source for figure and model updates every Wednesday and Friday. So today on the Workbench I'm showing what I just recently got in the mail, and this is what I've been waiting for so I could continue progress on the hull of the Abrams, the workable tracks from AFV Club. So far they look pretty good. It looks like it's a pretty standard setup, but I've been told that it can be a bit tedious, which I could understand about any tracks, but these ones especially. So we'll see how that turns out. They just come in 2 bags, I assume one for each side, and yeah. I know that I have to replace the Tamiya tracks because of just the very nature of the fact that they're rubber and they won't have as realistic a look to it, but this should be an interesting challenge anyway. Tracks have always been sort of a bugbear for me in armor kits, so keep you updated. The other thing I got was the lenses for the turret, and I'm excited about this because I dreaded having to try and come up with an accurate representation through paint. I didn't want them to look flat or to just sort of put a gloss finish on the paint after it was on, so these should actually give it a little bit of realism. So now we're on to the hull. At the state that it's in, as you can see, it's pretty early on. I decided to leave the tracks off, the road wheels I mean, and have this in a couple of sub-assemblies. The main one is of course going to be the hull, and then the track will wait until the road wheels are all done and the inside here has been weathered. So it's going to be quite late on in the process, and then over top of that I will put on the side skirts on both sides, just so that I can get the detail all inside and have the inside of the hull here weathered before we put all the extra layers. It's going to be basically 2 layers, road wheel, track, and then a side skirt. So yeah, I wouldn't want to have to try and detail the inside here with all that stuff on. So that's where that stands. This kit's coming along quite well, actually. I'm quite happy with the progress, and we'll be moving on to the painting pretty shortly, actually. So here are the crew from Hobbyfan. I have 4 figures dedicated to this project. These 2 will be, of course, in the turret, gunner and the commander. You can see here the live resin replacement weapons, M9s, and the magazines associated with that. There's also going to be an M4, just a basic one on the turret. As I've seen with a couple of reference photos, the crew keep carbines or M16s close to them on the turret just in case their primaries jam or anything like that. So there's these 2, and they're coming along fairly well. Hobbyfan stuff always goes together really well. It's always interesting to me to see the different composition or the interpretation of 1/35th scale by different manufacturers. Maybe just the sculpting style, because a lot of times, Hobbyfan especially, they can be a tad bulky, shall we say, and that comes off well. It actually works in favor of a tanker and all this spare armor and personal protection stuff. But on some of their other figures it can look a little bit odd compared to some of the more, I don't want to use the word refined, but someone like Bravo 6 or Alpine or something like that seems to be a little bit more slender in cut anyway. Here's one of the riflemen who's on the ground. He's got a mix of Hobbyfan gear and of course all the live resin stuff that comes with the figure himself. You can see the different tones of primer. I put down 2 coats of primer just so I could be certain that I was covering everything and so that I could see the differences. It's coming along fairly well. And last but not least, the other riflemen on the ground. Their heads are all left off for ease of painting, and that'll be the last bit of assembling. But this guy is absolutely laden. As you can see, the spare ammunition on his rucksack for the second rifleman in the squad to come over, and he can grab ammunition off his pack and stuff like that when they're in a stack or just in a firefight in the street. Yeah, he went together really well, actually. This is the first mini soldiers figure I've ever attempted, and so far I'm really pleased with him. He's the 101st Airborne Infantryman in Iraq, so he's gonna fit right in. They've all got the urban protection stuff on, the gorget, and with the exception of this guy, he doesn't have the sort of the, you wouldn't call them pauldrons, but they're the shoulder bicep protection plate. Yeah. Really pleased with all this stuff that's coming along. So yeah, the final bit here are the weapons. Now I've replaced all the weapons. Of course, that's part of the enjoyment of having live resin stuff that you can mess around with. He had a standard M4, and as you can see, the foregrip is angled back. That's just so that it'll fit into his hand a little bit better. I know that foregrips are supposed to be straight up and down unless they're angled. So he's got a dual mag system on there. This is a Mark 18, I believe, Mod O, an EOTech laser lamp package. And then, yeah, he's just blue tacked onto this for priming and then painting before assembling, so I can get at his chest rig. These weapons really add that extra little bit of sharpness. The other rifleman has an M16 with the 203, and I put up pictures of that, I believe, on Facebook and Pinterest, so if you're looking to see that, you can check them out there. Check us out at highcaliberminiatures.com for these figures and many, many more like them. We just got an influx of mini soldier stuff that I'll be covering on Friday. And we expanded. We have incoming the SEAL Team 6 operator from Spades Models out of Spain. And I am extremely excited to bring that to the shop. He's a really high production value figure. It's not just the figure, there's also... well, there's a lot of stuff in there, and I'll be posting pictures of what you can see in the box and all that stuff on Facebook pretty soon. So I'll put the link to our homepage in the description below as always. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.